Reese, we didn't get a chance to talk after the last series, but what was your impression of that, how that series went, but more importantly, how that last game went?
Yeah, obviously a great series, Game 1 to Game 5. Hard-fought series, a lot of intensity, and I was super proud of the guys, the way we showed up, not only in Game 5, but honestly in the third period. I thought, I was very happy for the guys. It was a full team effort, and it was a good one.
It's a massive goal that you score and your line scores in that game, and I think obviously tipped it toward the Marlies, game-tying goal. Tell me not only what happens on that goal, but how you feel about scoring it.
Yeah, obviously it feels nice to get rewarded. I had a couple chances in the first few games that would have liked to have back, so it was nice to contribute there in the third of Game 5. But yeah, I feel like all series long, our line was just trying to do the right things, play straight lines, get pucks deep. I know it's a pretty simple game, but it's effective when you do it consistently, and I think the whole team had that mindset throughout the series, so it was good to see.
Is that the recipe for this series as well? Obviously, a different team plays a different way, but what do you see in this coming series?
Yeah, for sure. Cleveland's a great team. We had some good games against them in the regular season. It's going to be a great series, but yeah, for sure. I think for us, we want to stick to our game plan, do the things that we do that are successful, and especially for our line, we'll keep doing those simple things, playing hard, and let the other lines go to work as well. So, really looking forward to getting to Cleveland and getting the series going.
Jake, what do you see ahead of this series with Cleveland and how good they've been and the matchups have been this year for the Marlies?
Yeah, they're a good team. We've had some really good matchups against them, and they've had our number for the past couple of years, and so we're looking to have a good fight against them. I'm excited.
What do you see in what this team brings that will allow you guys to have success against them?
Yeah, just play our game, use our speed and physicality, and play the right way. I think we got an experienced group. The group's starting to come together really nicely now. The boys love being together, so I'm excited, looking forward to it.
I'm just wondering your reaction to the news the Leafs have fired Craig.
Yeah, obviously unfortunate. He was, he gave me a chance this year. Very, very thankful for that. I thought he was a great coach. Learned a lot from him, and being in that locker room. So unfortunate, it's just part of the business, I guess. And I wish him the best of luck.
What makes him a good coach for you?
Learned a lot off him. He expects a lot out of his guys, and I think that's important. He working your way up in the lineup. You really got to play well, and stuff like that. Just being around him, his experience and all that. So, yeah, I was thankful for being learning under him for sure.
How well do you think younger players connected with him?
Pretty good. Look at Easton Cowan. He's a pretty good example. He had an unbelievable year, I thought. Really good, I think. Yeah.
What's it like being in the organization right now when a new management group comes in? What's it feel like?
You try to learn, about the new guys coming in. It's my first time, so just kind of learning and, taking it in, seeing what I can do and, help the organization, I guess, yeah.
What do you know about John Chaika?
Don't know much. Looking forward to getting to know him. Heard nothing but great things, so, yeah, looking forward to, playing for him.
Heard about Craig Berube's situation. Wondered what your reaction is.
I haven't heard anything yet, but now I guess he got fired. Okay. So Chi's been nothing but great to me. I've had him for a short period of time after I got called up, and it was nothing but good to me. It put me in good situation. He trusts me out there, so I owe him a lot for that. He made my time with the Leafs very enjoyable, so wish him nothing but the best.
kind of a coach he was? You seem to have some young guys. It's kind of a different situation for him late in the year after the trades. How do you think about that? The young guys and with players such as yourself?
Yeah, I think he's a great coach, honestly. He's a really fair coach. He's an old school coach that embraces the new mentality. So I think it was a great mix for me and especially the young guys up there. And I thought his system was very easy to follow, and it was working pretty well. So, like I said, I enjoyed my time with him.
What's your anticipation level about what may come next in terms of their next coach and what his approach is for the whole organization?
I have no clue. No clue how to answer that. But I'm sure there's a lot of good coaches out there, so I'm sure we're gonna get a good one.
What's it feel like when there's a new management team that comes in? What's just it feel like as a player?
It's really different. I've had that in Anaheim. I had the big turnover to like Pat Verbeek, Jeff Solomon instead of Bob Murray and everything. So I'm kind of used to it. It's hard at first, especially for the young guys that got drafted by the first management. But at the same time, it's a new opportunity for I'd say a breath of fresh air. I'd say it's really good for the organization. If you look at Anaheim, like their turnover period was probably 2-3 years, and right now they're probably one of the best teams in the league. So if the same thing's gonna happen with us, I'm sure they're gonna be thrilled.
What do you know about John Chayka?
Absolutely nothing. I heard he built his own analytics program, which I think is pretty impressive. But no, that's pretty much. I think we're going to meet him in probably the next couple of weeks or so. So no, I'm excited.
Dakota, just wanted to get your reaction to the news that Craig has been fired as Leafs coach.
Yeah, I mean, just heard when I got off the ice. They're not exciting days as players. When these things have happened, and I've been through it before, it's because something's gone wrong, and it's never solely on a coach or a manager or any one player, but certainly the results weren't what we wanted. So yeah, these aren't fun. It sucks.
When you were with the Leafs, what stood out about Craig? What was it like to work with him?
I enjoyed working with him a lot. He's a hard coach. He's a very direct coach. The expectation is very clear. As obviously as a depth guy myself, being able to communicate and have a very clear understanding of what's expected, I thought was great. I was never, and that goes down the entire staff too. I never felt like I was in the dark in any situations. I have nothing but great things to say about Chief and my time there working with him and his staff. So again, obviously, I mean, he'll pick up obviously somewhere. But I'm obviously grateful for the time I spent. And again, it's kind of a reflection on kind of obviously the results as a whole, not necessarily one specific area.
I know you have this playoff series coming up, but what's a sense of anticipation among guys who were with the Leafs last year about what next year in the summer will bring and who's going to come in as coach? Is there a lot of wondering, I guess, who fits in where, what kind of guy they're going to get?
Yeah, maybe. I think mostly it's just focused on now. Our season is still going very much in full swing. So, our staff's all the same. Everything here carries on as normal. So I think that's kind of a thought process for another day. You're focused on our upcoming matchups with Cleveland, but again, if your process and your work ethic, and if you believe all of that is right, the rest of it takes care of itself. As an older guy, again, I've been through it. Whether it's coaches getting fired mid-season, off-season, if what you do is right and your work is right and your process is right, the rest of it's out of your hands and it plays out. So I think the focus for our group, whether you're a young guy, an older guy, expiring contract, you got more term, is just focus on what we're doing here and continuing it on.
How well do you know John Chayka?
I had him early in my career for 2 or 3 years. And yeah, I haven't obviously spoken to him since then. I haven't spoken to him since he's been hired here. But yeah, familiar with him as my GM when I was with Arizona.
Does that give you a little more comfort when it obviously there's a lot of uncertainty when a new manager comes in, but you have a relationship at least somewhat with him? Does that give you any sense of comfort at a moment like this?
Yeah, and again, like I, to be completely honest, I've been so focused on what we're doing here that we, haven't dove into what the future looks like. But it's always good when you're familiar, whether it's coaches, staff, management, whatever it is. It's always a great thing when you're familiar and you have a relationship. You're not meeting someone for the first time. It's you've seen them before, you've talked with them before. Again, for me in a depth role, like I've been up in the AHL or up in the NHL, down in the AHL with him as my GM. So, yeah, like it's always comforting when when someone's familiar. But again, it's been a long time, and people always grow, things always shift, and I'm sure he's grown as a manager since then. I've certainly grown as a player since then, and so you always got to kind of take that in the back of your mind that it's just another step forward still.
At the end of the Laval series, there was some video there. Somebody threw a beer on the ice and you drank it. Just wondered if you could take us through that moment. It's kind of funny and puts a little exclamation point on the series.
Yeah, that's been a popular question. Yeah, you know what? It was just kind of something that happened. Obviously, that was a very emotional series, and in a lot of ways, a lot of bad blood there, and things start coming over the glass at the end of the game, and one lands at your feet, and so I think I just did what anyone would do. Just again, I think I said the other day, it was just cheers on a good series.
Okay, was it half full? Totally full?
Yeah, they could have been a little more generous, I think.
All right, Easton, just want to get your initial reaction to hearing the news that Leafs have fired Craig.
Yeah, unfortunately that's part of the business. Obviously we had a tough year, so unfortunately that's part of the business.
What was it like for you to work with him?
Yeah, he taught me a lot. Good coach. I learned a lot from him, and he taught me how to simplify the game, and just little things around the game. So yeah.
Fair to say there was a little resistance to a younger guy coming in, that he had to get to know you before he increased your responsibility. Is that fair?
I think just anyone, you got to gain your coach's trust. Wherever you played, I had to gain my coach's trust in London. Minor hockey, you got to gain your coach's trust. So I feel like that's just the thing that comes with the game.
It's been a bit of a weird process. Does it surprise you to find out the news today? Like, how would you describe your initial kind of thought?
I just feel like I said, it's it's like an organization as a whole. It's not just one person, not just one player. It's just as a whole, and unfortunately that's part of the business.
What do you feel like around the organization right now? Obviously there's a new management group coming in. Like, how would you describe what it feels like right now around the team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just focused on the series honestly right now. I didn't really find out about anything until now, so just trying to play my game. Try to help this team win, and we got a big series coming up, so just focus on that.
How much do you know about John Chaika?
Honestly, not much. I haven't even had a chance to meet him yet, so don't know much.
If there's anticipation for a coach who's going to be someone who can work with, not that Craig didn't, but work with younger guys, and they're obviously a very high-profile pick is coming in at some point, as well as yourself.
I'm just going to keep playing my game. I mean, obviously someone new's coming in, so they're probably watching whoever it is. So just keep competing, keep playing my game, and leading into the summer, have a good summer, and be ready for camp.
And about this series, obviously, the longer you guys go, that's better for you, better for everybody's profile here.
100%. You want to keep playing hockey. It's fun playing hockey this late, and you're showing up to the weather in a t-shirt, or into the rink in a t-shirt. So it's good weather and good vibes.
Seeing this team kind of make a playoff push, like there's some young guys who are probably going to be part of the Leafs next year. Like, what gives you the most excitement about or hope for next year with the Leafs?
Yeah, I mean, it's super fun playing in the playoffs, and obviously everyone's dreams to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So right now we're focused on this, but obviously it's good. There's a future, and you can look forward to that.
Did Ben end up crashing at your place? I know he had. Was thinking maybe there'd be a couple sleepovers this week.
No. Just went to the Jays game and dinner. So. Yeah.
Okay.
John, how do you like that practice ahead of getting on the road?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to work on some things that like Cleveland's going to do regarding for their system. So we wanted to make sure we were prepared for it, so our guys aren't surprised. I like our energy. We continue to bring that energy the players every day, and they are excited about playing. So we're excited about getting on that bus and going to Cleveland.
What are your thoughts about the differences between what you saw in Laval and what you'll see in Cleveland?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're quick. They got 4 lines. They're a 4-line team, very similar to Laval. Just they pose different. They're quicker, probably. Maybe not as big and physical, but still play extremely hard. They're a good hockey team, and they've continued to get better since the arrival of Gauntz and Ashton Reese. They are 2 good veteran players who have stabilized the front end there, and they've had a pretty good record ever since they've showed up.
What was your reaction to the news about Craig?
Yeah, he was. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's part of the business. He was great to work with. My experience that we had with him, he was great to work with our staff. He was always there for us. So again, he's a great hockey coach.
What stood out about his coaching? Like, what makes him a good coach?
I wasn't around. He's the proof's there. He's a winner. 2 years ago they had some success. Again, that's part of the business. I was part of it in New York. It's just the way it goes, and it's unfortunate, but he was outstanding to work with.
How did you find out?
I just found out when I came off the ice. Okay. So, it's unfortunate. But again, we're just focused in on Cleveland and getting ready for a big series.
Is it tough when there's like a management change and there's a lot going on off the ice when you're trying to put a playoff run together?
But I think at the end of the day, that's a sanctuary for us, for our job, and for the players. We get to still go on the ice and do what we all love to do, and to be excited about it. So it's not a distraction whatsoever.
You had a chance to meet with John Chayka yet? And
No. Just by text, yeah. He's letting us do us. He's probably got a lot on his plate, so he's letting us do. He's sent a couple texts out though, congratulating us.
So there is now a coaching vacancy here. I'm just wondering, how would you describe how prepared you feel like you are to be a head coach in the NHL one day?
That's not part of my aspiration right now. Of course, I coach because I love it. I've always coached because I love it. It's put me in this very fortunate situation, and I'm just really happy to be here and coach this remarkable group in our locker room. And again, the players can make the coach look really good, so they're doing that for us right now as a staff.
Dakota said that was a very emotional series last one. How do you kind of recapture that going forward?
Yeah, that's a good point, because they're too we don't want to fall into this track meet type of game with them. We have to bring a little bit of what we did against Laval, because we didn't shy away from the physicality. They tried to bully us a little bit, and our guys had no problem sticking up for them and playing in those tough areas. We got to make sure that we bring a little bit of that still to Cleveland and make sure we're dictating the tempo and doing all the right things to give us the best chance to win hockey games.
What do you think of Dakota when they threw the beer at him and he just drank it?
Yeah, I got a few texts, and so did he. He said he's gotten more texts about that than any other time. It's just one of those spur of the moment things. It was actually kind of brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it was actually I don't think he thought of it. It just happened naturally, and again, it's all good.